James from Bolt Bros here. Just want to go over all the transactions that the Chargers just did recently this week. Let's just go ahead and get into it, guys. Bolt Bros, let's go.
I'm Dale Henley. You watching the Bolt Bros podcast? Let's do it!
All right, let's get into some of these transactions here, man. It's such an interesting week thus far, but it's interesting to be able to see that we have a new GM, new head coach, and they're making moves. I mean, some of these moves make a lot of sense in my opinion. Specifically, this whole signing of Will Grier to the active roster from New England's practice squad. That's an interesting one we've talked about, even in the preseason. How you get a quarterback that has been in Kellen Moore's system to be able to help teach the quarterback who's the starting quarterback, which would be Justin Herbert, how to work Kellen Moore's offense. He was with the Cowboys back, I believe it was in 2020 to 2021. So he has been in that system. Just makes a ton of sense, and I believe that's something that we should have done. Now, once again, going on a knock on Tom Telesco a bit, it's like, hey, next man up, the guy that's been waiting in the wings, he gets the opportunity. Both of these quarterbacks, Easton Stick, Justin Herbert, both trying to figure out the offense versus have a guy who's been in the offense that could help get some pointers, give them some tips on how to run the offense. But once again, we did not do that until now. When it's very late in the season. So interesting move with that Will Grier pickup, putting him to the active roster, basically put Max Duggan on the wire. So they waived him. I would assume that they're going to try to bring him back on the practice squad. We'll see where that goes from there. And then Will Clapp did go down, now put on the IR. He's out for the season with a knee injury. Now we brought up Cameron Tom to the active roster. Interesting thing from him, he's been basically with this team on the practice squad for some time now. We just haven't really seen anything from him at all. One thing about Cameron, he was a guy that actually has been around football a bit, has actually played some games. He actually has, been in this practice squad, I think since October-ish. So he has had a little bit of time in the system and such. With everything, he has been with I believe it was the Saints currently, was with the Saints, excuse me. And, has had a little bit of field time. It's not a ton of starts, but he's had a couple starts out there and has been, on the field. We got a little bit of an experienced center for once here, guys. So we'll see where that kind of lands for us. I think it's more of a depth thing. Brandon Hymus should be the starting center going this week. He gets a shot now. So we'll see where that leads with us, guys. And one other move that we ended up bringing in was Brent Lang. And so interesting about Brent Lang, I mean, there's not too much to really say about who he is as a player. He's one of those guys that has, been around starting this year, undrafted guy from the Jets. We brought him up here. I'm going to bring up just actually a quick screen on this too. Not too much to say about him because we really don't know a whole heck of a lot of him on field or anything like that, but we could show a little bit of his draft profile right here. So Brett Lang, Duluth, University of Minnesota, 6'4", 304, fair arm size, fair hand size, 5.94 average backup, special teamer kind of guy. Production score 50, ranked 14th. This is from the 2023 draft. He was undrafted. Athleticism score 73, so 7th. That's a pretty good ranking. Total score 62, ranked as 14th in the center position. So didn't do a whole heck of a lot. The combine probably didn't get brought in for that, but he did have a bench press of 24 reps. So he's got a little bit of strength there too. One thing I just want to emphasize with him is that, Tom Telesco, and I think in general, the NFL likes to have players who are versatile. that could play in a lot of different positions. So once again, he started 10 games at right guard in 2018, and then moving to right tackle for 10 games the next season. That's great to see. And then basically in 2021, he basically started all 12 games at right tackle, and then basically played 11 games in 2022 at right tackle. So once again, we're trying to bring in some depth pieces here. We're trying to bring in guys that might be able to help out a little bit more with depth, with adjustments. Maybe Trey Pipkins might have a little bit of issues going on here. It is bringing in guys that have a little bit of experience here. Just going back to Cameron Tom, he's been with us, been in the league for 5 years. He's got some time in the NFL. He understands a little bit more about how to get things going. First start was rookie year 2018 with the Saints, signed with New Orleans as an undrafted free agent 2017. 13 games that he's appeared in, 15 games he's appeared in, and even a playoff game. So it's kind of good to be able to bring up a guy that's been in the NFL, has some experience and such too, but bringing in a guy like Brent Lang, a guy who could potentially be a versatile piece for you and get a shot to potentially see how he could fit with his team. So for the most part, that's kind of really what we got going on for the transactions, guys. It's interesting seeing JoJo Wooden and him making moves already. That Will Grier move makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. We've been saying that one for a while. Will Clapp has gone down. Now we get Brandon Hymus to see what he could do as a center now. I mean, he's one of those guys that hasn't had a whole heck of a lot of, opportunity, but this is an opportunity now. Now he gets to go against the Buffalo Bills. Oof, yikes. But either which way, guys, just want to see if you had any other, comments, questions. Please put any comments below. We love to be able to hear from you guys. And once again, James from Bolt Bros, let's go.